Welcome back to another edition of the NCAC Friday Five. Today we're joined by Allegheny men's track and field sophomore Jacob Boord. Thanks for being here today, Jacob.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I wanted to start by congratulating you on an NCAC Athlete of the Week award after a personal best throw in the javelin at the Weems Baskin Invitational at the University of South Carolina over the weekend. Can you walk me through how you thought your season opening performance went?
Yeah, of course. It's always fantastic to open up the season with a PR, and of course, a 5 meter PR at that was definitely fantastic to have. The atmosphere down in South Carolina was fantastic. I know a huge goal of mine coming into this season was to get outside of the conference a little more. With the COVID restrictions and everything last year, made it very difficult to travel and see other competitions, see other faces. So that was definitely a great aspect of that trip. And from a technical standpoint, actually, the throws weren't my best. We were changing some things in practice leading up to it. I feel as though I executed those things very well, but had some other technical flaws in the throws. So definitely hoping for more this week and in the coming weeks. But of course, like I said, always awesome to open up with a PR.
Yeah, good opening weekend. Your mark at the meet was your best mark was 59.81 meters, which is tops in the conference and number 7 in Division III so far this season. Does it feel good to already see the early results of the hard work you've put in for this javelin season?
It absolutely does. And it definitely allows for my coach and I to know that we're on the right track in terms of our training. Coming into this semester, actually, I had COVID where I lost 12 pounds of body
Wow.
weight. And so I came into the semester kind of in a weird place mentally. It definitely took a lot of perseverance and a lot of trust in myself and in my coaches to get me back to where I was healthy enough to be able to compete at a top tier level again. And so to have a mark like that at the beginning of the season definitely solidifies that I am on the right path, getting back to where I am. Very fortunately, I only had mild symptoms with my COVID, of course. And so, in order to have that feeling and that excitement that the pieces are starting to fall together, definitely makes for a worthwhile season and awesome, awesome performance. And as I mentioned before, the atmosphere was just fantastic. Met a lot of great guys down there, of course, being surrounded by Division I throwers. And going into a new atmosphere so far away, it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but I feel as though I came into the meet with a clear mind and an open heart and just allowed for my performance to take me from there. So absolutely great to see results this early.
Yeah. And last year you won the NCAC event title in the javelin with the 51.39 meter throw. Is defending that title at the 22 conference meet one of the goals you might have for yourself this season?
So, in terms of goals for this season, it would be cliche of me to say that I'm coming in with a distance mark or a championship ideal to have in terms of the mentality, but it's much more simple than that. My biggest goal this season is just to compete 110% at every meet that I go to. I give a lot of praise to my high school coach, Dr. Melissa White, who has her doctorate in sports psychology, to really keep me in line and keep me on my way in terms of being calm and setting realistic goals that I can achieve throughout the season. And I feel as though this really helped me in terms of my performance. Um, it allows for me to go into meets not with the mindset of, oh, am I going to throw 60 meters today? Am I going to do this 100% right and see that in my throw? But rather setting those small goals to have all of those small victories throughout the season is definitely something that I appreciate about my performances and preparation in terms of meets. Would I love to repeat as champion? Absolutely. And would I love to make it to the national meet and potentially even place at the national meet? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic things. However, I'm taking it meet by meet and day by day in terms of my training and my preparation and really just setting those small goals like competing and enjoying and embracing every moment that I have with all the blessings that I have, of course, to be able to compete at this level.
Yeah. And then being from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, how'd you find your way to Allegheny?
So Allegheny was actually for track and field towards the end of my sophomore year, I believe, into my junior year. I fell in love with the campus, and the academics here are so superior to a lot of the schools that I was looking at before I knew of Allegheny, that I really started to feel at home and understand that I am coming here for my academics. It's a blessing to be able to compete collegiately. However, at the end of the day, that's not the most important priority. What's important is setting myself up for future success. Whether that involves track and field or not, just to have the blessing here is, of course, an amazing opportunity. And I'm actually the fourth person from my congregation at my church to attend Allegheny College, which is very cool because we have a very small congregation, and actually my mentor for my confirmation process, his son, who's my dentist, also came here to Allegheny. So it's a very prominent school in a place that's so fond to me as my church, and so a whole combination of all those things and only being 2 hours away from home, it's just really the perfect atmosphere for me, and I've really acclimated myself here and definitely proud of my decision. A lot of great extracurricular things on campus that they offer here, like the potential to do research through our Center of Business and Economics, where I study, and as well as clubs like the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So overall, the entire community I really fell in love with. And at the end of the day, having a track program that invests me as an athlete and as a person, that really meant so much more to me in the recruiting process. Coach Lindsay kept it very real with me and told me that no matter what decision I made, I should make the most selfish decision in terms of me, because at the end of the day, it is my future that's at hand. And that was something that really resonated with me through the process, and just really fell in love with everything that this campus has to offer. And it has been an excellent journey so far.
Well, you've cruised through those first 4 questions, but now can you throw all of our NCAC Friday 5 rapid fire questions? I'm going to give you a series of topics, and you just knock them out as quickly as you can. Are you ready?
Yep, absolutely.
If you couldn't compete in track and field, what sport would be your second choice?
Either basketball or bowling.
Okay. Do you have any meat superstitions?
No, not at all.
Favorite social media platform?
Twitter.
Biggest role model?
My parents.
And lastly, your favorite athletic conference?
Definitely the NCAC.
Well, perfect. I just want to thank you again for spending some time with me today on the NCAC Friday 5.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
We'll be back next week with another edition of the Friday 5. Have a good weekend, everybody.